Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. We start with breaking news from the Middle East where tensions have just escalated once again. Reports confirm that the Houthi rebels in Yemen launched a ballistic missile armed with cluster bombs targeting key sites deep inside Israel. The attack triggered widespread air raid sirens across several regions, forcing civilians to rush into shelters and scramble for safety as alarms echoed through the night sky. Families ran for cover while Israel's missile defense system sprang into action, intercepting the incoming threat before it could cause major destruction. Israeli officials confirmed that the missile was neutralized before impact, but the use of cluster munitions has raised alarm across military and civilian circles. Cluster bombs are designed to release multiple smaller explosives across a wide area, making them especially dangerous in populated regions. Even though this missile was intercepted, the fact that it carried such a weapon highlights the Houthis' growing capabilities and their willingness to push the conflict into a far deadlier stage. The Houthis were quick to claim responsibility, framing the strike as retaliation for Israel's recent military actions. In their statement, they said the attack was meant to send a strong message that Israel would face consequences for what they describe as aggression in Gaza and beyond. For many analysts, this is not just another missile launch. It is evidence that the Houthis, supported and supplied by Iran, are expanding their role in the wider confrontation between Israel and its regional adversaries. For Israel, the attempted strike is deeply troubling. The country already faces rockets from Gaza in the south, Hezbollah's arsenal in the north, and now long-range missiles from Yemen hundreds of miles away. This creates a dangerous multi-front challenge for the Israeli military, forcing it to stretch its defenses and remain on high alert at all times. Defense officials have stressed that Israel will not tolerate these threats and promise to continue striking Houthi targets in Yemen until the missile launches stop. This situation also raises serious concerns for civilians in both countries. In Israel, the people living in cities like Eilat are growing increasingly anxious as sirens and missile alerts become part of daily life. Many residents fear that the southern defenses may not be fully prepared for the scale of long-range missile and drone warfare now being deployed. Meanwhile, in Yemen, Israeli airstrikes on the capital city of Sana'a have already caused significant damage to infrastructure, and reports suggest that civilian casualties are mounting. Yemen has been devastated by years of civil war, famine, and economic collapse, and this new front in the conflict only adds to the suffering of millions who are already on the edge of survival. The international community is also watching closely. The United Nations, along with regional powers like Saudi Arabia and Egypt, have called for restraint on all sides. Their main fear is that if the situation continues to escalate, the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden, two of the world's most important shipping routes, could come under direct threat. Already, shipping companies are reporting disruptions, and insurance costs for vessels traveling near Yemen are climbing rapidly. Any large-scale disruption to these waterways would have serious consequences for global trade and energy supplies, sparking a ripple effect across the world economy. Military experts warn that the Houthis' growing arsenal, which includes both advanced drones and ballistic missiles, is making the conflict far more unpredictable. The use of cluster munitions adds a particularly dangerous dimension, as these weapons are banned in many countries due to their devastating impact on civilians. The fact that the Houthis are now deploying them against Israel shows both their determination and the scale of Iranian support behind their operations. Iran's strategy appears to be clear: use regional allies and proxy forces to pressure Israel from multiple directions without engaging in direct confrontation. For Israel, this is not just about stopping one missile or one drone. It is part of a larger struggle against Iran's influence in the Middle East. From Hezbollah in Lebanon to the Houthis in Yemen, Israel finds itself under pressure from multiple fronts, each designed to test its defenses and force it to divide its resources. Israeli officials are increasingly working with the United States to improve their air defense systems, which are now being tested in real combat scenarios. But even with those systems in place, the constant threat of long-range attacks creates enormous strain on both the military and the public. As this conflict unfolds, the possibility of miscalculation grows with every strike and counterstrike. A single missile slipping through defenses, or an airstrike causing heavy civilian casualties, could drag new players into the fight and trigger a much wider escalation. Western powers like the United States and the United Kingdom are already monitoring the situation closely, given their reliance on Red Sea shipping lanes. If Houthi attacks expand to target international commercial vessels, We could see Western navies launching patrols or even direct strikes on Houthi missile sites, a move that would risk direct clashes and potentially ignite a larger regional war. Right now, both Israel and the Houthis appear determined to stay the course. The Houthis insist that their strikes will continue until what they describe as Israeli crimes are stopped. On the other hand, Israel has vowed to use all necessary force to protect its citizens and eliminate the Houthi threat. This cycle of action and retaliation is pushing the region closer to instability, with civilians paying the heaviest price. The big question is how far this conflict will go. Will it remain a series of tit-for-tat strikes, or could it evolve into a prolonged campaign similar to Israel's operations in Gaza and Syria? If the Red Sea becomes a permanent hotspot for military clashes, the global impact could be enormous. Energy markets, shipping costs, and regional security would all be at risk, creating a crisis that extends far beyond the borders of Israel and Yemen. We will continue to monitor this breaking story as it develops, bringing you the latest updates and analysis on how this conflict may reshape the future of the Middle East and global security. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss any of our updates on global defense and breaking news.